Welcome to the Revere Veterans and Community Show. Today we have two special young ladies. One is a graduate of Suffolk University, Dianne DeModena.
Yep.
And the other one is a freshman at the Revere High School, Destiny Martin. And let me welcome both of you first.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Destiny, tell us a little about yourself, and especially about your father.
Yep. So April 22nd, there's going to be a motorcycle run for the Vietnam Wall, leaving from the Harley-Davidson dealership in Everett and going to Suffolk Downs. And after that, there'll be music and barbecues, and my father's planning to partake in it for the day and have some fun. And
is your father a veteran too?
My father is not a veteran, but my grandfather was. Yes, my grandfather was a vet.
If I may ask?
I think World War II.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, so, we try to help our vets out in any way, whether it's showing support or donating or...
I know one thing, you came up during February with She's Your Niece, I believe?
Yes.
The two of you came up at the senior center during February vacation, donated your whole week, your whole time to help us old folks out there.
Yes.
How did you enjoy it?
I liked it. I like getting involved with the community and, trying to connect with the older crowd just to hear stories and what it was like, and it was fun.
Yeah, and my brother Norris, he said you were terrific. You know him. You met him.
I met a lot of people. It was good. The community center is great for them for people to get together and have fun.
And now I would like to introduce your niece, Destiny Martin, who's a freshman at Revere High. You were also up there. How did you like it, Destiny?
I had fun. People were talking. They were really nice and stuff.
How did you like getting along with the old folks up there?
It was interesting. They had a lot to say about
Such as? Let us know.
They were basically telling me that they're gonna welcome me with open arms and stuff like that.
They were gonna welcome you with open arms, not me. Go ahead.
Yeah, stuff like that. That I don't need to be worried about anything.
Right, and I got to ask you, Destiny. You just started off in Revere High School. And what are your future plans when you graduate from Revere? I know you want to go to college, right? Mm-hmm. But what would you like to be or study in college?
I want to go to college to be either a dancer or a movie director.
Movie director?
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of dancing?
All genres. I dance now, actually.
So. Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Where at, if I may ask you?
Rachel's in East Boston.
Oh. And what kind of dancing do you do, Destiny?
I do tap, hip-hop, ballet, gymnastics, and jazz.
Ballet, too?
Mm-hmm.
That's very good. I want to go back to you, Dianne.
Yeah.
You graduated from Suffolk University.
I did.
Could you tell us what you studied and what you do?
My major was sociology, law, and criminology. So I graduated with my bachelor's degree from there. And at first I was a paralegal for a bankruptcy attorney, and now I'm just a stay-at-home mom, but I'm going to be going back to law school hopefully next year.
And studying law?
And studying law.
Talking about studying law, we had Mayor Tommy Ambrosino up here the other day. As a matter of fact, yesterday.
Yep.
And he's headed this Massachusetts Judicial Court, and he explained to us about all the 7 judges that have different probate, appellate, junior, etc. And he was excellent on there. What kind of law do you want to get into?
Well, I would like to do corporate law, but they always say that once you go into law school, you always find something else that you would rather do instead. So, I'm going to keep my mind open and see what goes on.
I think you make more money if you study criminal law, because there's plenty of them.
That's true. You got to get them to pay first, though.
That would be excellent. By the way, how many years is that law school?
Law school is 3 years full-time.
Oh, full-time?
Yeah, full-time. Wow. But if you go part-time, they usually do a 4-year program.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's 4 years for your undergrad and then 3 to 4 years for
And Destiny, I want to go back to you now, because we had Mayor Dan Rizzo on here, and he was speaking about the Revere High School students, and he mentioned that before you graduate high school, since you're only a freshman, that you have to participate in community work. And since you already got washed in on February are you going to continue to do that and help us folks?
I'm planning on to, yeah.
right? And during your summer vacation, you're going to come down and help us?
Yeah.
What would you like to do there?
Um,
You can call bingo for the seniors,
yeah,
Yeah.
probably that again.
right? Because some of them can't count that high, you know, so it would be nice to have you over. That would be fantastic. So, besides becoming a movie director, besides learning dancing, if those two, let's say, things didn't work out for you, let's just say that, what would be your third choice?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a teacher, so I'd probably stick with that.
And by the way, talking about teachers, the superintendent of schools here, Mr. Paul Dakin, if you know, was voted the #1 superintendent in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So you have a very good school system here.
Yep.
So, and how are you doing on your grades?
I struggled at the beginning, but I'm bringing them up now.
2?
I'm around a C/B range right now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mine used to go way down, you know. That's what my grades were down there. By the way, I want to get back to you. Yeah, it's a pleasure to talk to the two of you. I mean, we joke around, but it's nice to have people like you, young folks in the community. I mean, Destiny, you. And by the way, you got a family. Could you tell us a little about your family?
My family, my husband.
And your kids?
I have one child, a 2-year-old son,
His name?
William. And
Hi, William.
yes, he's at home with my other niece, and my husband is also William. And
Can you tell
he
them apart?
works- I can, although they both have baby faces.
Okay.
And my father is an active part of the community. He owns his own business here in Revere.
Oh, what kind of business does he do?
He's a mechanic. He owns Alpha Auto Clinic
Yep.
in Revere
And located where?
on Lee Burbank Highway,
Oh.
right by the Hampton Inn.
How long has he been doing that?
He's been in business for 26 years. Long time. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
So keep
It's great.
talking because we
Yeah.
got plenty of time here. The clock ain't even moving over.
So he'll be taking his motorcycle out with my mom and, going to the run on Sunday. And then we'll meet them at Suffolk Downs because,
And that's where we'll
unfortunately,
end up.
yeah, at Suffolk Downs, that's where the wall will end up, and then we'll just have a good time and support our troops, right?
Yep. And I got to tell you, we had a veteran here from Saugus. His
Yeah.
name is Andrew Biggio, and he's in charge of the Veteran Affairs in Saugus and Wakefield. He raises over $80,000, he told me, on those bicycle runs that he has and donates
Oh,
it to the
really?
veteran. Yep. And he has 3 veterans who one needs a home, one needs a special car, I believe, and one needs some mechanical parts for his leg to get around. They have a word for it, and I forgot what the word was. So he's doing a fantastic thing.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Yep. And
Yeah, these runs do raise a lot of money. We actually, a Memorial Weekend every year, they have a big run in Washington, D.C. to the Vietnam Wall. And it's people from all over the country go, and I've gone a couple of times.
with Washington?
Yeah, everyone leaves from all over different parts of the world, and they meet at the wall in Washington. And then after, it's, you donate, you buy stuff, you have a good time.
Well, it's funny. Just to change the subject for 1 minute, then I want to get back to the Vietnam. We have an honor flight, and they will eventually get to the Vietnam. Right now, they're doing World War II veterans.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be the first ones to go meet our maker. Then we have the Korean vets, and then the Vietnam. And we are going to Washington on, believe, May 19th.
Okay.
4 of us from the senior center got picked.
Oh,
We're going out.
nice.
Yep. And it's a fantastic thing. And I wish all you veterans out there, especially the World War II, the Korean, and the Vietnam, if you haven't filled out an application, watch the scrolls on TV Channel 8, and they'll show you where the honor flight is, and they'll give you all the information on the board so you can just do it yourself on there, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. Now, Destiny, I want to go back to you. Tell us a little about you. Well, you don't have a family yet, but I mean about your family.
I currently live with my grandparents and my younger sister.
What's her name and how old?
My sister's 13, and her name's Deja Martin. And my grandfather is Dianne DeModena, and my aunt is Delia Martin.
You
I mean, my
both.
grandmother.
That's all right.
Delia
Go ahead.
Martin's Demanda.
I don't know how old they are. I think
They're older.
They're older than you, that
Yes.
I can guarantee you. Are they? Okay. I want to get back to you, Diane.
Sure.
After you get through law school and you're going to practice law, but let's say you just decided to change your mind while you were going to school. What would be your next specialty?
I'm not sure. Never thought about it. Ever since I was little, I wanted to be a lawyer. So yeah. I don't know. I honestly wouldn't know. I mean, I waitress a couple, here and there at Kowloon Restaurant, but that's all I've ever done while I was in school and stuff. Also,
I got to tell you, you're talking about being a lawyer. I was walking down the Broadway one time, and there was a mother going with her two little kids, a boy and a girl. I mean, there were two parents, one with a boy, one with a girl. And the girl said to the little boy, he says, my father's a police officer. And the little boy says, yeah, my father's a lawyer. And the little girl says, honest? And the little boy says, I didn't say that.
that's a good one.
So if you want to be a lawyer, there's something for you to think about.
Yeah,
But we
that's
have
true.
some terrific lawyers in the city of Revere. We have one downstairs. His name is Mr. Abney. He'll be coming on the show to talk about law and things like that. Now, I want you to talk about your classwork. What kind of subjects you take in school and what you do. Exercise. Make believe I'm your father. You're telling me the whole thing.
I'm currently taking Spanish, math, English, and biology. And so far, my lowest grades would be in biology, since I don't know why. It's been like that since I was little.
Don't feel bad. My lowest grade was, believe it or not, in English. Really. Yep. I was very good in math, very good in spelling, very good in history, very good in science. But I had a lot of trouble with English because my parents came from the old country and their English was broken at home and I was talking like them, you know? And sometimes I needed an interpreter to let them know what I was saying. So don't feel bad. And by the way, where do your parents come from? Were they born in this country?
Yes, my great-grandmother and my grandmother came from Portugal, though.
Oh, Portugal?
Mm-hmm.
That's right off the coast of Spain, I believe.
Yep.
Yep. Do you speak any Portuguese?
A little, yeah.
Say good morning in Portuguese. I don't know if you can say that.
I don't know how to say that.
Say something nice in Portuguese.
I only know, agua, which means water, bavo.
How do you say water in Portuguese?
Agua.
Aqua, that's also in Italian too, by the way, or in Spanish.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. What about you?
Well, my mother is from Portugal, but I was born in the United States, and so wasn't my father. But our great grandfather, I think, was born in Italy. I'm not sure though.
Well, I got to tell
Somewhere in the family, they were born in Italy, obviously.
Diane, the other time when I had the show on, I was talking to people, and I said, if you want to see America, really see America, this is a city to see in it, because we have a diversification of people. We have Spanish, we have Portuguese, we have Italian, we have Israelis, we have Pakistanis, we have Egyptians, Saudi Arabians, Iranians, all of them, from even Italians here. I think there are a few over there.
Yeah. They all moved from East Boston.
Right. And it's great because you have the melting pot right here in the city.
Yeah.
And like I said to you, Mayor Dan Rizzo went out on the show, he says before any student graduates from Revere High School, he has to do community service, which I think is the best thing to do.
Yeah.
And we have kids, the ROTC, you're not in that yet, but this is something for you to look forward to when you go to Revere High. As you can go up the ladder, they have a reserve officers training corps. It's fantastic, and if you want to join it, they'd love to have you. They would. And I'm sure the school would love to have you too. Now, are you in what is it that they do in the school? For example, cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think of doing one of those?
I was going to do softball and dance club.
Oh, softball. We had a gentleman up here yesterday, Patrick Keefe. He does a lot of work with the high school softball. Also on a Pop Warner football at the high school. So that'll be nice. His name is Patrick Keefe, if you remember him. That name? Say hello to him for me. Okay? Now I want to go back to you. I got to go back to you. I want you to tell me about your family, more expanding on it, like your husband, your father, grandfather.
Well, actually, both of my grandparents are deceased. So
Oh, they are?
yes, my
Sorry.
grandfathers on both sides. That's okay. They both lived a good life.
How old were they, if I may ask you?
My grandfather on my mother's side was 76.
That's not too old.
No, but he worked hard and he achieved everything that he wanted to for his family.
That's good.
And then my other grandfather was probably in his late 70s, but he had cancer, so it was a tough battle for him.
Talking about cancer, I'm doing the same thing, battling, but you know, today they have treatments for cancer that they didn't have 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
What about the other part of your family, Diane?
My husband
his family.
he's a good, his father is deceased as well. He actually was an iron worker, and he...
Stop right there. You say iron worker.
Yeah.
I worked for a steel company in Lynn. Local 7 was the iron workers, correct?
Yep, it still is.
Used to work with them down at the John Hancock building,
Yep.
the federal building in Boston when they put that up.
Yes.
Was he a welder or an erector, or did erection, or did both?
I think he did both. I'm not sure. It's kind of like a touchy subject because my husband was so young when he died. So, you know, it's when he brings it up, it's, you know, I listen and that's it. But I think he did both because I know his accident occurred, he wasn't tied off and he fell in the Tip O'Neill building.
That's how he got hurt?
Yeah, that's how he died, yeah. Yeah, so, you know, and then the laws changed and stuff. I mean, this is going back to,
Right.
you know, the 80s, 84, 85.
Right. We had a historian here, by the way, who taught at Revere High School, Mr. Jeff Perlman, who taught history for 36 years, and he gave me a little history lesson about Revere. And the library that you go to, the Revere Public Library, and he said, if you look on the top, it'll say by Andrew Carnegie. He owned a steel company called Carnegie Steel. And the library was made, if my memory's correct, 1901.
Yeah.
So that's over 112 years.
Yep.
So that was donated by him. And talking about the library, do you ever use it?
Yeah.
And what books do you like to read?
Fancy.
Which ones?
Fancy.
Fantasy. Fantasy, yeah. Like Twilight, stuff like that. No? Sorry.
And what televisions do you like to watch, Destiny?
I like mysteries. I like Prison Break. It's a show I've been getting into. It's about...
You know, it's funny. She likes Prison Breaks. You want to be a lawyer? What a combination.
I know, right?
Go ahead.
I think it's a good thing we're going to have a lawyer in the family.
Go ahead.
I forgot what I was saying.
That's okay.
What do you
Take
like
your
for
time.
shows?
Take your time.
I like shows.
You were talking about Prison Breaks?
Oh yeah, it's about this two brothers. One of them is sent to prison for murdering the vice president's brother.
Yep.
But throughout like the seasons, you learn that it wasn't really him, and it was all like a big setup based on his mom who went missing when they were younger and stuff.
And what channel was that on? The name of the program?
When I was younger, it used to be on Fox, and then it got taken off, and I don't know what channel it's on now.
You
say
watch it
when you were
on
younger?
Netflix?
Yeah, like
If you said you were any younger, you'd be in the negative numbers, you know.
like when I was like 8.
Oh, okay.
I watch it on Netflix now.
Did you?
Yeah, Netflix is a
I'm going to
wonderful
ask you
thing.
girls something, which is going back to the Vietnam, because that's what we were talking about coming to Revere. We're going to need volunteers to help us. You said you would come down and help
Yeah.
us with the wall.
Absolutely.
And by the way, just before you head on, I had another gentleman on here from Winthrop, Mr. Richard Honan, and he spoke about the Vietnam Wall. He's donating 1,000 flags to be given out to the school kids. So you'll be getting a flag there to go around and wave from the Revere High School. He's going to be there. you're going to have volunteers. So I'm going to ask you, Diane, if you know any people that would like to volunteer for the war, let them know beyond June 13, 14, 15, and 16 at the Beachmont VFW. And you, Destiny, when you go back to high school after this vacation is over, let the kids in your class know that they would be welcome, and we want them to come to see the Wall of Vietnam and get a little American history, what it was like 1965. People don't realize that. They think that the Vietnam War was from 1955 to 1975. It was started in 1945. That's when it started, when the French were there. But then the French were kicked out, and of course, we inherited it. And we lost 58,000, as of now, 282 killed in action. And when the wall comes here, all the names will be on there. And by the way, talking about the names, I should have brought them up with me. There are 12 Vietnam names at the American Legion. If you ever go down to the American Legion on Broadway, and you look in the front, you'll see a big stone there. It has all the 12 names listed of the Vietnam veterans that were killed from the city of Revere. So that would be something for you to think about. And now I'm going to ask you about community work. Besides the senior center, a little what you've done for other, what else you've done. Don't be bashful.
Well, I have been through, in a couple of different services, really with the city of Boston for community work there, with like the courthouse and stuff, of course, mainly based on what I would like to do in my future. So I've done a couple of like internships at like, the small claims court and
so you're already
things like
getting a little like pre-legal experience?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, of course.
And what else?
And then, I help the kids do whatever they're going to do.
Such as?
Such as the community service down at the senior center and, whatever else they're going to do.
Right, which is fantastic to have. So we talked about the Vietnam War. Now I'm going to talk about one other thing before we get down to the time. Yeah, we're having a telethon here on May the 12th, which is on a Sunday. I know it's Mother's Day, but it's May 12th. We would love to have you come up, say hello to us, and we will thank you, not only for what you do for the veterans, but what you do for the senior citizen. So Destiny, I'm going to ask you, you think you can make it up here on Sunday, May the 12th, with your aunt or niece? Aunt.
I believe so.
Good. And
I'll bring her.
We'd love to have you. And
Absolutely.
you could spend a little time answering the phone if people call in. That would be nice to have you
That would
here.
be fun.
Yep. That would be fun to have you here. And by the way, in case you don't know, the wall will be here on June 13, 14, 15, and 16, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can see it by the shirts here. And they're going to need volunteers there, so you can spend a little time helping people out at the wall. Like if some elderly person comes, I don't know how to work a computer, but I assume you do. Maybe someday you'll give me a lesson, and you do too.
Of course.
Right, so they'll ask you like of a certain name, you can look it up on the wall, and you could tell them like it's at number 41, 31 down, or so forth. So you'll do that for us?
Sure.
That would be nice. You only have to do it maybe for 2 hours one time, And if you know any other volunteers that would like to do it, let them know, and they can call Nick Brewer at the Revere Veterans Service. I want to give you that number. And to the people out there, it's 781-286-8119. And we need all the help we can get. I got some women from the senior center, and these are seniors that said they would come down and help. We would love to have them. We got veterans like myself. I will be there the whole 4 days, maybe 2 hours a day, maybe 4 hours a day. But I will be there, and a lot of the veterans from the city of Revere will also be there. And before we close, I'm going to give each one of you a minute and a half or 2 minutes, starting now, to wrap up and say whatever you would like to before we run out of time, because it was a pleasure to have you two come up here. So you start first, Diane, since you're a senior. Yeah.
Well, I would just like to say thank you for having us. I feel honored. And
it's my pleasure, first of all, to have you up here.
we loved going to the community center and helping out there, to get involved with our community a little bit more. I think Destiny's favorite part was calling the bingo.
Yeah, you never even talked about bingo. That's right.
Yeah.
The seniors, if you don't have bingo, they don't show up. I mean, bingo's their life to some of them.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
It was very fast-paced, though, but it was fun. It was a lot different than the bingo halls I'm used to going to, that's for sure. But it was a pleasure, and I actually can't wait to go back and help out some more.
And I got to tell you, Diane, it was nice to see you take the food and help out with the handicapped people there that cannot get up to get it themselves and delivering it. That was really nice of you. So I want to thank you for that. And Destiny, take a minute and a half, and then just give me a minute. Be my guest.
Talk about your experience.
Talk
at the
about
community
anything
center.
you want. You can even yell at me if it'll make you happy.
Well, thank you for having us.
It was a pleasure for me, believe you me, to have you represent Revere High School, to have you represent Suffolk University. So you finish up a little before I say my speech.
I'm definitely gonna have people I know have their community service at the shelter, because it's like really is a learning experience and stuff, and you get to see what those people have gone through their lives and what like the world they grew up in and how it's different from now.
You're right. And by the way, I got to say one thing to you. It's a pleasure having a young lady like you here. It's a pleasure to have the Revere School bring out people like you here. And it's an honor for our city of Revere to have citizens like you here. So before we close, I want to thank you, Diane, for spending the time to come up here. Because I know you're on vacation this week. And Destiny, I want to thank you. And may God bless both of you and wish you all the health and happiness. May God bless the people of Revere, our troops, our veterans. And to all ones out there, thank you for listening. And I hope to see you all May the 12th right here when we have the telethon for the Vietnam Wall. And especially you people for helping us out. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. You're welcome.